All right, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1967 American League Pennant Chase. We are at September the 9th in 1967. And the game for this evening, if I can fix this focus a little bit. Game this evening is going to be the Detroit Tigers against the struggling Chicago White Sox. And I will show the standings in a moment. Let me make sure that everything is copacetic here. Looks like it will be shortly. Make sure everything is in place the way I need it. I believe you can see everything from here. I don't know if I want to get any lower on the phone or not to get closer. I guess I could, but I don't want to lose the peripheries. That's the main thing. We'll try it like that. And see how it goes. I think everything shows up pretty well right now. So like I said, September 6th. So, I'm sorry, not September 6th, September 9th. So let's look at the, hello, Ben, how you doing? Let's look at the games that were also played on September the 9th. And the league leaders, or these two teams got helped by what had happened in the September 9th schedule. The Baltimore Orioles knocked off the Minnesota Twins by scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. So the Twins take the loss, and the Yankees beat the Red Sox 2-1. A run in the top of the 9th gets them to win. So the winner of this game will gain a complete game on both those teams, and at least the loser won't lose any ground. But there are some teams like the White Sox that really need this victory in the worst way. Hello, Robert. How are you doing? Brian B., how are you? Rather than printing out the standings, of course, I have them on the computer, so I will show those real quickly, and hopefully they show up okay. Current standings coming into this game. Make sure I can see them in my phone so that you guys can see them. The Red Sox are 83-61. Minnesota is 81-61, but even in the loss column, 1 game back in the division, or there were no divisions, but in the American League. Minnesota, with their loss, stays 3.5 back, and Chicago went from 7 back to 6.5 back, but if they win, they'll be 6 games back and get a little closer. You can see what they've done in the replay so far. So Chicago, desperately in need of a victory. They do have one of their better pitchers, Gary Peters, going today, or tonight, I should say. So if they're ever going to win, this is probably the game that they could try to do it in, although Detroit is a tough customer. Tabby is downstairs. She didn't want to come up here tonight, so I'm going to let her be, and we won't have to have any sort of feline delay, hopefully. I will show the nice clean score sheet before I start the game so that you can see what the score sheet looks like before all the mess. And now I think it blurred it out by doing that, so let's fix the focus. So hopefully that's better now. You can see the nice clean score sheet. Both teams, if we look at the outfield throwing arm cheat sheet, are identical. Both teams have a 0 rated arm in left field and -1 arms in center and right for both teams. So they're identical. So no change unless there's a change in the lineup somehow. But starting lineups are going to be identical. All right, so as we said, Gary Peters, the left-hander, is on the mound for the White Sox. And on the mound for the Tigers, normally you think of him as a closer, but in this situation, he actually had 6 starts in the 1967 season. That's John Hiller. So we will get this game underway. Hello, Larry. How are you doing? I thought about recording this, but then I said, well, I guess we'll go ahead and do a live recording. A little bit later start than I wanted, but it's not so late that I'm going to be up all night. So hopefully this game will mosey along. Detroit won their game in real world 7-3. So here we go. And yes, thank you for scoring at home with the rest of us. Okay, so we are ready to go. Mickey, and these are the dice that they're both kind of the same color dice. I don't have the powder blue dice like RJL has, so I'm going to just have to kind of wing it. So Gary Peters will be facing Mickey Stanley, and hopefully everything is showing up okay on you guys' end. It's the best I can do with it, I do believe. So I think the focus is as good as it's going to get, and we'll go with it. So we're underway. Peters, 3-4 for Peters is a strikeout chance. That's an 18 though, so not going to strike out Mickey Stanley on an 18. In fact, the stadium takes 3 away, so he would have to have a 4 to strike out against a lefty. So we go to Stanley, 5-1, a fly to right field, and that is hauled in out there by the right fielder Rocky Colavito. So Stanley flies to right, 1 away for the second baseman Dick McCullough. And again, there's your lineups, benches, and bullpens for both teams. Peters, 2-1, and against a lefty, that's a blank. Against a right-hander, it would have been a star line, but against a lefty, it's a blank. McCullough gets a swing, 2-6, and he's going to double to right field. How about that? Dick McCullough strokes a 1-out double. And let's see if there's any kind of attempt for him. No, the 1 and the -1 from Peters is no steal attempt. We will roll because Peters does have a chance to balk. Not a good one, but he's got a chance. It's not going to happen. So here's Al Kaline, batter. Peters, 3-6, and against Kaline, a right-hander, that's a blank. Lefty would have been a strikeout plus. Let's go to Kaline. 6-2, it's a single pass short. Let's see if the run can score. McCullough runs at a 4, so I think that's going to be pretty easy. Yep, a 2 or better, you score from second on that. So it's a RBI single for Al Kaline. And just like that, the Tigers lead at 1-0, and the White Sox woes continue. Again, Kaline can't go anywhere. But we will roll for the potential balk. Got to get a 20 and didn't get one. So here's Willie Horton. Here's a who. Peters, 4-2, and again, that's a blank. Against the lefty, it would have been a strikeout plus, but not against the righty. Horton, 2-5, and that's a ground ball to third, possible double play. He's a 3, nothing there. Infield halfway is a 4. The pivot at second base is Buford. He's a 0. So 1-4, and we have an inning-ending double play. And we do. So it's 5-4-3 around the horn, and that's going to take care of things for the Tigers in the top of the first. However, they do get the RBI single from Al Kaline. And at the end of half an inning of play, it's the Tigers 1 and the White Sox coming to bat. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and with the double play, nobody left. So John Hiller gets the call on the mound. He'll be facing the no-neck one, Walt Williams. Hello, Chuck. How are you doing? Hiller, 5-2, and that's a strikeout chance, 10. Way too high for Walt Williams. He will not strike out. 1-1 is a ground ball to third. He will ground it, however, to the third baseman, Don Wirt, for an easy play. 5-3, 1 away for Don Buford, second baseman. Switch hitter. 4-4, and that is going to be a blank to a right-hander. Switch hitter batting right is a blank. Lefty with a strikeout plus. Buford 2-1, and against a left-hander, that's a split chance, single pass second. And how about that? The White Sox, Don Buford, 1-out single. See if he can get a jump, get a lead here. 7. He needs a 7 or less. He does not get it, so he's got to stand pat. The infield, of course, are going to play halfway, trying to turn that double play for Tommy Agee, who is a good double play candidate. Hiller, 6-1, walk chance, 18, too high. Go to Agee. 5-5, and against a left-hander, that's a double to center field. D8, let's see if the run can score. Check our chart. Double to center. Center field for Detroit is a -1. That's Mickey Stanley. He is a -1 arm. So a double to center is 0 effect. Score from first. So the runner, Buford, is a 4. He needs a 4 or less to make it home. 6, so he does not make it home. He might even be out. Let's see, -1 arm. A 1 to 4, we go to that third die roll. A 5 or 6 he holds. It's a 4, we're going to that third die roll. So third die roll is this chart right here. 1, lead runner advances. 2 through 6 is going to be out. And 6, looks like 6 would be a rundown. So that's a 2. He's going to be, lead runner's thrown out, so he is out at home. Let's see here. If the roll is higher than the BR of the runner, out. I'm looking at the wrong. Lead runner thrown out. If roll is higher than trailing runner's BR, the runner holds. That's a 2. AG's a 5. He will take third on the throw. So it's a double for AG. But Buford's going to be out, and we're going to score it 8 to 6 to 2. But AG will take third on the throw. So AG is at third with 2 outs for Ken Boyer. So they took a chance to try to send him. Didn't work. And now Ken Boyer's up. Again, no strategy roll needed. Hiller, 6-2, possible error. Go to Boyer's card. And that's a 9, might be an error. 4-4 is a fly to left. Well, maybe it's not an error. Let's see. Error of the left fielder is Horton. He's only a 5. That is a 9. No error. And with 2 outs, there's no sacrifice fly. That's just going to be the end of the inning. So John Hiller pitches out of the mess. After 1 inning to play at Comiskey, it's Detroit 1 and the White Sox nothing. And that's why the White Sox are struggling. They get 2 hits, but they get a runner thrown at the plate. And that's going to cost them the run. So we go to the top of the second, and the catcher, Bill Freehand, will lead off. He'll be followed by Matthews and Wirt. Let's see here. 5-4. 5-4. Let's see here. I may have to change this logo then, RJL, because this is the logo I saw that was telling me it was 67. But you're saying it's the other one that they use for like 73 with the red sock and the player in the middle. I'll switch to that. I'll do some more research. Let's see. 5-4. 5-4 is a walk chance. 14 is going to be a walk, as Freehand has an 18 there. So even the -1 from the stadium won't take it away. And Freehand will draw the free pass. So leadoff walk to Freehand. He has no attempt, so don't worry about that. But there is going to be a chance for a pickoff, but there's no 20. So here's Eddie Matthews, still in his Astros uniform. Lefty on lefty. 6-3, that's a strikeout chance. 14. He is a 14, but the stadium takes 3 away, so no strikeout. He'll get to swing. 4-6. He's going to line it to short. That's out number 1. Could be a double play, but not likely. Run on first, a liner to short. You have to have a 1 for it to be a double play. Okay, it's an alternate logo. All right, thank you. 2, no, he gets back in time. So no double play. No double play as Freehand got back in time. And that brings up Don Wirt. Again, checking for a balk, but nothing happening. Peters, 1-5, possible error. Go to Wirt. 5-4, that's a ground ball to third. That's a 7. Let's check the error rating of the third baseman. That is Boyer. He's a 10, so it will be a boot. Boyer's going to boot it. 8 him up, E5. And that's going to put runners at first and second with 1 out for Ray Euler. I got all these dice I got off of Dice Emporium. They have multiple colors, multiple styles, and I just like the numbers. But it's called, I think it's called DiceEmporium.com. You just Google Dice Emporium, you'll see it. All right, so strategy roll for Peters, checking for balk. Nothing happening. 2-4, and that is a strikeout plus. He strikes out against a lefty as a 10. The plus makes him a 20, but the stadium's a -3. I'm sorry, a minus. Hold on, what am I doing here? 2-4, strikeout plus. My bad, I'm over here. 14 -3 is an 11, but the plus is a 21, so that fits. Struck him out. I was looking at walks there for a second. Euler out on strikes on the strikeout plus. Now there's 2 away for John Hiller, the pitcher. Again, no 20, so no balk. Peters to Hiller. He throws left-handed but bats right-handed. 3-5. That's a wild pitch chance. 16 possible pass ball. Pass ball rating on Joseph is a 4, so that's pretty much automatic. That's an automatic pass ball. So that will be a pass ball, and that will move runners to second and third with 2 down. And the pitcher is still batting. So as long as he gets Hiller, there won't be an issue. Nothing there. Peters to Hiller, 2-2. Possible error on a ground ball. Could be trouble. Hiller, 5-3, and that's a star 4, which is a ground ball to third. That's a 10. Boyer's a 10. It'll be Boyer's second error of the inning. Another E5. As you can see, Boyer's error rating is a 10. We've rolled a 7 and a 10 on error checks. He has committed 2 errors, and that will allow the run to score, unearned as it is. And with the pitcher batting, that's even more costly. So E5, and Freehand will score the unearned run. Wirt will take third. And now runners are at the corners with 2 away for Mickey Stanley. And Peters has to feel just really, he's glaring over at Boyer, wondering what the heck is going on. 2 errors in 1 inning. Peters, 6-2. Ballpark, going to Comiskey Park for the first time. 2-6, ground ball to first. That's finally going to end the inning, as the first baseman Ward will step on the bag. But damage done, that unearned run. So there was a run on no hits, 2 errors, and 2 left. And we go to the bottom of the second. It is Detroit 2 and the White Sox nothing. And I do stand corrected on an earlier game with the Red Sox. It is Lee Stang, as in Mustang, not Lee Stange. So I do have that correction when next time he pitches. It is Lee Mustang. I just call him Mustang. Lee Stang is the proper pronunciation on that. So I'll fix that for next time around. Here is Pete Ward against Hiller. 3-6. That's a potential walk. He walks at an 11. Stadium takes away 1 is 10. That's a 19. No walk. Go to Ward. 6-2. It's a star 1, which is a ground ball to short. And Euler is there. 1 away for Rocky Colavito, still in his Cleveland Indian uniform. 4-1 is a strikeout chance. 11 too high. We go to Colavito. 3-5, and that is going to be a star 4, which is a ground ball to second. Easy play for McAuliffe. 2 up and 2 down for Dwayne Josephson, the catcher. 1-6, and against the right-hander, it's a blank. Lefty with a home run check. Josephson. 4-3 is a single to right field. So Josephson, a 2-out single. And he has an attempt of 1, actually. But nothing's going to happen there. And that brings up the shortstop, Ron Hansen. 2-5, ballpark car going back to Comiskey Park. Pitcher's Park all the way. 2-5 again, fly to center. That's going to end the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and a man left. We've played 2 at Comiskey, and it is Detroit 2 and Chicago nothing. And the White Sox woes continue as they look to avoid fading into obscurity and irrelevance. which they are in the danger of doing that. So McAuliffe. Hello, Doug. How you doing? All right, so Dick McAuliffe against Gary Peters, 6'3", strikeout, 16, too much. Go to McAuliffe. 1-5, and that's a fly to center. Whoops, left the logo out there. Fly to center. McAuliffe is retired, one away. Brings up Al Kaline. He had an RBI single his first time up. Peters, 4-4 is a walk chance. 3 will walk him. So Al Kaline draws the free pass. Here comes Horton. He hit into a double play his first time up. Kaline has no attempt. We'll check for the balk. Nothing happening. Peters, 1-6 blank. Go to Horton. 2-2 is a fly to left, and that's out number 2. At least it's not a double play. And here's Freehand. He walked and scored first time up. Peters, 5-4. That's the walk chance. 20 is going to be too high. Go to Freehand. 4-2 is a pop-up right to the pitcher. Pops it right up to Peters to end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the third. Still 2-0 Tigers. But at least maybe Peters has stopped the bleeding a bit. At least they hope so. Speaking of Peters, he will lead off the inning. He's a .212 hitter, not bad with 2 home runs. No slouch. 1-3, and that's a ball 1 on a wild pitch. 1-2, that's a pitcher result. Against a lefty, 1-12 is an automatic out. That's an 11. It is going to be an automatic out. And it will be a fly to right. So Peters flies to Kaline, out number 1. And the no-neck is coming up. 1-1, and that's a strikeout chance. 8, going to be too much. We go to Williams. 4-3, and that is a star 1, which is a ground ball to short. Euler is there. 2 down. And Don Buford, batter. Hiller, 3-5. That is a blank to a righty. Buford, 5-4, fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. 1-2-3 go the White Sox in the third. Nothing doing. At the end of 3, score is still Detroit 2 and the White Sox nothing. And as I've been doing here lately, we will do our 3-inning recap on the score sheet. So there's our score sheet for the game so far, my messy score sheet. Dick McAuliffe led off with, or hit a 1-out double. He was driven in by Kaline, who singled, and then Horton hit into the 5-4-3 double play to end the first. Second inning for the Tigers, Freehand led off with a walk, and he went to second on an E5 by third baseman Boyer. And then they both moved up on a pass ball. And then with 2 outs, John Hill, the pitcher, also reached on a Ken Boyer error that scored the run, made it 2-0. In the third inning, Kaline walked, but nothing else happened. For the White Sox in the first, they had something going. A 1-out single by Buford and then a double by Agee. But then Buford was thrown out by the center fielder Stanley, cut off by Euler, and got it to Freehand, 8-6-2, to throw him out to end the inning. Well, it made it 2 outs, and then Boyer ended the inning. In the second, Josephson got a lone single, nothing else. And at the bottom of the third, they went 3 up and 3 down. And, of course, my little notations here are hits and left on base, so I can easily calculate them at the end of the game. So now you know the method to my madness on the score sheet. Okay. And in case you're curious, this next game will be September 10th in the schedule, and we'll be back at Fenway Park for the Yankees and the Red Sox. That's just the rotation. So it's either that or play like Minnesota and Baltimore again, like I just did. So you're going to get repeats. There's no way around it. So here is Eddie Matthews to lead it off. Line to short his first time. 5-4 is a walk chance. 11 is going to be good enough. He's a 14. -1's a 12, but the 11 fits. So Eddie Matthews is aboard. He has no chance to steal. But we'll roll for the balk, and there is none. Peterson to Wirt, 1-5, possible error. They hope it doesn't go to Boyer. 4-5, and that's a fly to center. Fly to center. That is Agee. His error rating is a 7. That is an odd number, so it will be an error. Because it's an odd number, it fits as an error. So Matthews walks, and then Wirt reaches on the E8. Now, let's see what the failed error says on the outfielder on the F8. Failed error on an F8. We are looking at, where are you? Failed error. Here we go. See, F8 is a number 8, which says if ABR of the lead runner is 1-5, a throw is made to the advanced base for possible error. Otherwise, no. Oh, that's on the throw. Hold on, my bad. Failed error. Where's just a failed error? Here it is. Failed error is a number 5. That doesn't make any sense either. RJL. I may need you to help me out on this chart here, RJL, because it's looking kind of funky here. So the error, E question mark, failed error check on a fly ball to center field is saying, oh, I'm sorry, I was reading number 5, not number 3. My bad. Okay, never mind, I got it. Drop fly ball. Fly ball dropped if error check fails and the 1D20 is odd. Less than 2 outs, roll 1D6 versus the BR of the runner. If roll is higher than the BR, runner advances only 1 base, otherwise 2 bases. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. I was looking at the wrong thing. Okay, so Eddie Matthews' BR is a 3. A 3, so let's see what happens. It's a 5, so it only gets the 1 base since the D6 beat the BR rating. So it's only going to be a 1 base advance, or 1 base error, I should say. 3rd error in 4 innings on the White Sox. That one surprisingly by Agee. And that'll bring up Euler. Yeah, got it, RJ. I found it. I was looking at failed on a single to center, not a fly to center. That's what was throwing me off. So I got it. But we rolled a 5, and the 5 beat the 3 BR of Matthews to run on first, so he stops at second base. All right. Euler now. 2-3 is a walk chance. 13 will not walk him. So we'll go to Euler. 2-2, and that's a fly to left field for out number 1. I don't think Matthews can go anywhere. Matthews runs at a 3, but you lose 3 going from second base to left field, makes him a 0. And the left fielder, in this case Williams, is a 0, so he'd have a 0 chance, so he will hold. And that'll bring up the pitcher, John Hiller. Hiller, with 1 out already, they're not going to bunt. They're just going to have him swing away. Peters, 3-3, strikeout plus is not going to matter. He's going to strike him out. So 2 down, and that brings up Mickey Stanley. Peters trying to pitch around the error. And that's 4-4, and that is going to be a single to third base. But again, it's not an error check on an error play. It's not an error because we go to a speed check at that point. That's the updated version 3. So it says roll 1d6. If higher than the ABR, then the runner gets a hit. So Stanley's a 4, so we have to roll a 5 or 6 to throw him out. We do not, so that's going to load the bases. Infield hit for Mickey Stanley. The bases are now loaded. And Peters is still not out of it yet. Still not out of the woods. Got to face Dick McAuliffe. And we'll put McAuliffe right here, why don't we? 20, so there is a chance at a balk. If we roll a 1, we got a balk. We do not. We roll double ones, so that doesn't count. Hello, Craig. How you doing? Hello, Phoenix. How are you? Peter's trying to get out of this. 6-4 ballpark card going to Comiskey. That might do it because it's a pitcher's park. 5-1 is a fly to right, and that's going to end the inning. The Tigers will leave them loaded. So again, no hits, no runs, no hits. The one error, but they do leave them loaded. Actually, there was a hit. Mickey Stanley got the hit. My bad. Mickey Stanley got the hit on that. What I thought might have been an error play. He got the hit. So that's how the bases got loaded, and then a fly to right field takes care of it to end the inning. So they do get the one hit, but they leave them loaded. So bottom of the fourth we go, still 2-0 favor of the Tigers. And Hiller barely keeps his team in the game. But they got to get some offense going against Mr. Hiller. And leading off will be the guy that made the error, Tommy Agee. He doubled his first time up. Hiller, 3-2, strikeout chance 4 is going to get him. So Agee out on strikes, start the fourth, and that brings up Ken Boyer. He's had a rough game with 2 errors already. 6-2 has a possible error. He might reach on an error now. Boyer. But with an 18, probably not going to be an error. 4-6 is a ground ball to second. McAuliffe, his error rating's only a 10. That's an 18, so no such luck for the White Sox to reach on an error. 2 up and 2 down for Pistol Pete Ward. Focus went out because I did something to the... Hold on. Thanks for telling me. Hold on. Let me fix it. I did something to cause it, so hopefully that's better now. You can let me know if that's okay now. I think it is. Best I can tell. Hiller, 1-2. That's a pitcher result. 1-12 is an out, but that's a 13, so it's a blank. Go to Ward, 1-6 against the lefty. It's a grounder to first, and that's going to end the inning. So 3 up and 3 down go the White Sox after 4. It is still 2-0 Tigers. White Sox just cannot score runs in this replay. They're just having all sorts of issues. They usually had good pitching. I knew they usually were kind of deficient on offense, but still didn't know it'd be this bad. But they may, if they get double digits out of the lead, then I'm going to go ahead and remove them from the replay. Remove their, games from the replay. All right, let's see what happens here. We have Al Kaline. 5-3 is a range play. Kaline, 4-2, liner to second. The range is Buford. He's only a 2. This is liable to get by him. Nope, Buford snags it. How about that? Saves a base hit. Buford with the snag. 1 down for Willie Horton. 1-5. That's a possible error again. They're saying, please don't hit it to third base. Horton, 6-1, is going to single to second, but again, it's not an error check. It's a speed check, but he's only a 2. So if he has to have a 1 or a 2 to reach, anything 3 or higher, he's out. That's a 2. He is going to reach. How about that? Or does he have to be? Let me double check. Does he have to beat that? If it was higher, he is out. Otherwise, single. So it wasn't higher. It was the same. So Willie Horton will reach on the base hit. 1 out single from Horton. He has no chance to go anywhere. And no balk chance. So here's Bill Freehand. Peters, 1-1, blank to a righty. We go to Freehand. 5-3, and that's a star 5, a fly to left field. Walt Williams is there, 2 down. Runner still at first for Eddie Matthews. Peters to Matthews, lefty on lefty. 2-1 is a blank to a lefty, so now Matthews will get to swing it. 5-3, it's a power result to right field. Against a left-hander goes to 13. That's an 11. That's a triple for Eddie Matthews. Power result to right field on the 5-3. 11-13 against the lefty is a triple. That's an 11. So Eddie Matthews, lefty on lefty, comes up with a huge triple. Makes it 3-0 Tigers. And Peters is wondering what's he got to do. RBI triple for Eddie Matthews. So here is Peters to Wirt. 1-3, possible error on a throw. We got a Wirtz card for the result. 2-5, that's a single to shortstop. That'll score a run. Will it be an error on a throw? That's a 16, so there's no throwing error on Hanson, who's only a 9, but it will be a single for Don Wirt. A second run has scored. It is now 4-0 Tigers. And Gary Peters is in deep trouble, as are the White Sox. Euler is your batter. Pretty soon the strategy rules will be turned off if the score keeps like this. Peters 4-3 is a strikeout plus, and he finally got him to end the inning. But 2 runs come in for Detroit. They now lead it 4-0. 4-0. Let's see, there were 3 hits, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left. So 4-0 we go to the bottom of the 5th, and Rocky Colavito, the batter. Hiller, 6-3, strikeout 7, will not get him. Colavito gets the swing. 1-1, liner to short. Snagged by Euler, 1 away for Dwayne Josephson, and it doesn't look like the White Sox are anywhere near scoring 4 runs in this game, but you never know. It's inside pitch. Anything can happen. 2-2 is the ballpark card. Going to Comiskey. 1-2, it's a ground ball to second. Easy play for McAuliffe. 2 up and 2 down for Ron Hansen. 6-3, strikeout 8, too high. Go to Hansen. 6-3 is a ground ball back to Hiller. It's another easy 1-2-3 inning. In fact, that's 10 in a row retired by John Hiller. Going back to the 2nd inning. So at the end of 5 complete, it is Detroit 4 and Chicago zilch. Peters can face 29 batters. He has faced 26, although he is scheduled to lead off next inning. They'd like to get him through the inning so they could pinch hit for him, but we'll see what happens. Peters, 6-3, strikeout, is not tired yet, so he strikes out Hiller for out number 1. So 1 down for the leadoff man, Mickey Stanley. He's 1 for 3. Peters, 4-2. That is a blank to a righty. 6-2, and that against a lefty, that's a single pass shortstop for Mickey Stanley. That's batter number 28. So right now, Dick McAuliffe is the last batter he can face before tiring. Bullpen activity, they do have, looks like they have Bruce Howard in the pen. Could be a double switch up coming if they can't make it through the inning. Nothing happening on that. Stanley's attempt was a 2, so he can't get the lead there to go. Peters to McAuliffe, 2-6, strikeout 7, got him. Even with the -3, it brings it to an 8, so that fits. Struck him out for out number 2, and now he is tired. So if he finds those parentheses, he's got to come out of the game, but they're going to try to get him through the inning. So, again, checking for balk. There is none, but he is tired, so he's got to avoid those parentheses. 4-6, and that is going to be a walk plus chance. And so K-Line will draw the free pass. Keeps the inning going for Willie Horton. Again, they're trying to push the issue and let him get through the inning, but now if you find that parentheses, the double question mark, And that's especially that single there on 6-6 that can bring home the run right away. But they're going to take the chance that he's not going to hit that. So Peters is the ace of their staff, so they're going to give him a little bit more leeway. 5-1, strikeout 11, too high because the stadium takes away 3. So Horton will get the swing on the house. 6-4 is his ground to first, and persistence pays off. They stuck with him, and they get him through 6 innings, and now they can pinch hit for him. So for the Tigers, no runs a hit, no errors, and 2 left. That's going to be it for Gary Peters. He will be pinch hit for. They will need a pinch hitter for Gary Peters and also a new pitcher. And I believe Bruce Howard was the guy I mentioned as the new pitcher. He will be the new pitcher in the bottom or in the top of the 7th. And now we need a pinch hitter. And from the right side, they got quite a few. They got Barry, they got Bradford, and Morales. He's not very good. They're going to go with Ken Barry to pinch hit. And Bruce Howard would come in to pitch after Ken Barry pinch hits. So Barry trying to get something started. Hiller has retired 10 in a row. So he's certainly been on a roll. See what he can do against the pinch hitter. Hiller, 4-4. That's a blank to a right-hander. Barry, 3-6 is a ground ball back to Hiller. And much ado about nothing on that bat. That at bat as Barry fails miserably. Here's Walt Williams, no-neck man. Hiller, 2-2, ballpark car going back to Comiskey Park. 3-2, and that's a star 3, which is a fly to center. Mickey Stanley puts it away, no problems. That is now 12 in a row retired by John Hiller. And here's Buford. Hello, Philip. How you doing? Hiller, 3-6, blank to Buford. He'll swing it. 5-6 is a single to right field. We finally got another hit for the White Sox. Breaks up the 12 in a row retired by Hiller. That's Buford's second single. He's actually 2 for 3. He's actually the only one doing anything offensively. His attempt is a 7, but I don't think you're going to steal anything. He will just stand pat, and Tommy Agee will bat with 2 outs and a runner at first. Hiller, 5-6, strikeout plus is going to get him, and that's going to end the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and a man left. We've played 6. Score still 4-0. And since we played the second block of 3 innings, we'll give the score sheet update and my messy chicken scratch for the middle 4 innings. In the top of the 4th, a walk to Matthews and an error by Agee put 2 on, but then Euler flew to left. Hiller struck out. A single from Stanley loaded the bases, but then a fly to right by McCullough took care of that. In the second, after K-Line lined out, Horton singled. Freehand flew to left, but then a triple by Eddie Matthews drove in Horton. Single by Wirt drove in Matthews for the 2 runs. Then Euler struck out. So that gave him the 2 runs there. And then Hiller struck out, a single for Stanley, a strikeout, a walk to K-Line, and a ground out by Horton. Nothing there, so in those middle 2 innings, they did score 2 runs. For the White Sox, much cleaner score sheet, 3 up and 3 down in those 2 innings. Finally broken up by Buford with his lone single, but nothing else going on. So it's not a whole lot going on there, but Bruce Howard is now your new pitcher for the White Sox. He is the new pitcher. I don't know if there's a double switch to be had. Let's see. We could possibly Not really. I just don't see. Causey hits 226, but he's a lefty. They wanted to double switch with the Butte. They're going to leave everything. They're not going to double switch. They got 6 spots to the bat till the pitcher comes up, so they're not going to double switch. They're going to stick with what they got. We will keep RJL from freaking out by not doing a double switch. But Bill Freehand is going to lead off against the new pitcher Bruce Howard. 3-10, no save, 3.43 ERA. Started 17 games, relieved 13, and can face 9 batters before he's fatigued. Howard, 3-5, blank to a righty with a home run chance to a lefty. So Freehand will swing it away. 6-3, and he flies to right field. Hauled in out there by the right fielder, Rocky Calavito. And there's one away. Brings up Eddie Matthews. Howard, 4-2, and that's a strikeout chance, and he got him. So 2 down as a strikeout, Eddie Matthews. That brings up Don Wirt. 4-4, and that is a blank to a right-hander. Go to Wirt. 3-6, ground ball to first. Easy play for Ward. And that is the very first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game, pitched by the White Sox, and it came courtesy of Bruce Howard. So we go to the bottom of the 7th. I don't have any music queued up, so we're just going to keep going. Here in the bottom of the 7th, Hiller can face 27 batters. He has only faced 21, so he's still in good shape. Right now, he is tossing a 4-hit shutout through 6 innings. So he seems to be large and in charge. Hiller to Boyer, 4-4, blank to a right-hander. So we go to Boyer. 3-6, ground ball to short. Easy play for Euler. And there's one away for Pistol Pete Ward. And the White Sox just have an anemic offense. Hiller, 2-2. Ballpark card going to Comiskey Park, but again, that's a pitcher's park. 5-5, fly to left field. Wharton puts it away. 2 up and 2 down for Calavito. Even Calavito in his Cleveland uniform can't help him. 3-3, and that's a blank. We go to Calavito. 3-1, ground ball to Euler again. 3 up and 3 down. Hiller still looking strong. 7 innings in the book, still 4-0 Tigers. As the White Sox can't find any offense. So Euler will lead it off. No, Brian, I'm trying to... I remember who I used on the computer the previous day and try to use somebody different as best I can. All right, let's see. 6-1. Now, they might be the same on the video because there's games that they play offline where I use other relievers. So you might see the same relievers on the video because we're skipping a couple of games between when the teams show up. So it's hard to say. 6-1, hit by pitch. 11, not going to be a hit by pitch. So we go to Euler. 1-2, it's a star 6, which is a fly to center. And Agee puts it away. And that brings up the pitcher, John Hiller. No reason to pinch hit for him. 6-6 is a blank. Hiller, 3-6, ground ball to short. Hanson is there. 2 up and 2 down, and back to the top of the order for Mickey Stanley. Five, 6, and that's a strikeout chance. 11 is going to be too much. Stanley, 1-2, single. 2-out single for Stanley. His second hit of the game. Strategy rolls are off, so no worry about those. And that'll bring up McAuliffe. 5-1, strikeout 8. He's a 10 against a righty. -3 is a 7, so no strikeout. 3-6, it's a fly to center. Agee puts it away to end the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 4-0. Hiller Doesn't look like he needs much in the way of relief. For the White Sox, it'll be Josephson, Hanson, and a pinch hitter for Howard. We'll see who that's going to be. Might have to go to a lefty because Bradford hits 100. Morales hits 0. So they're probably looking at a left-hander. Possibly Tommy McCraw, looks like would be the guy that would come in to pinch hit. But we shall see. So Bruce Howard is going to go 2 innings. And he's going to give up a hit. Nothing else. No walks and a strikeout. So solid 2 innings for Bruce Howard. So Josephson will lead it off against Hiller. 1-1, strikeout 10, too high. Stadium takes that 3 away. Josephson, 4-1, power result to right field against a lefty, goes to 17. That's a 12. That's a triple for Josephson. Don't know how many he had in real world, but he just hit one right there. That is a power result to right field. 12, 11 to 17 against left-handers is a triple. So we just saw a Josephson triple, and that just kind of shocked Hiller more than anything else, I think. The shock factor and the people in the stands doing the almost the, what do you call the sarcastic applause. So here's Hanson. The infield is back. The 4-0 lead. They're not going. That's a range play at the ballpark. We'll go to Comiskey Park for the range play. 1-4. That's a star 6, which is a fly to right, but it's a range check on K-line. His range is a 5, though. That's a 6. He won't get to it. How do you like that? It's going to be a double. Wow. K-line a 5 range, but he rolled double 6s there. Looks like Appa. It's a double. So a triple and a double, and maybe Hiller's starting to get tired. Sox get on the board, and now the pinch hitter Tommy McCraw is going to come up and pinch hit. Even though it's lefty on lefty, he's the best they got, which isn't saying much. And bullpen now for the Tigers starting to loosen, as looks like Mr. Fred Lasher is loosening the bullpen. Hiller to McCraw, 1-1 strikeout, 16 too much. We go to McCraw. 2-2, and that's a star 1 ground ball to short. That is out number 1. Question is, does Hanson take third? Probably not. He only runs at a 2. So he will not take third. He will stay at second base. McCraw fails in the pinch. Back to the top of the order for Walt Williams. 5-1, and that's a hit by pitch chance. He's a 5. -10, though, is going to take that away. And here is Williams. 6-3. It's a pop-up to short. That's 2 down. Hiller is now tired, but they're going to try to get him through the inning. Since they have a 4-1 lead, they're going to try to get him through the inning. Here's Buford. Hiller, 5-1. Another hit by pitch chance. That's a 1, but again, that -10 takes that away. So Buford will swing it. 4-1. Ground ball back to the pitcher Hiller, and that's going to end the inning. And that's going to do it for Hiller. He's going to go 8 innings. Give up just the 1 run. So the White Sox get 2 hits, a triple and a double. And it gives them a run to leave a man on. At the end of 8, it is Detroit 4 and Chicago 1. And that will be all for Mr. Hiller. His day is done, and they'll figure out who the reliever is going to be based on whether the score stays 4-1 or whether the Tigers add to the lead. So it probably is going to be Lasher either way, but we'll find out for sure. And the White Sox will need a new pitcher to come on. It's going to be K-Line, Horton, and Freehan, all right-handers. So it looks to me like the rubber-armed Hoyt Wilhelm will be coming on to pitch. So Hoyt Wilhelm will pitch it. Hoyt Wilhelm will get the call here in the top of the 9th. Final line on Hiller. 3, 4. I got him for 6 hits. 8 innings pitched, 1 run earned, 6 hits. And let's see, he did not walk anyone. And he struck out just 2. He struck out Agee twice. That's the only 2 strikeouts he got. But still, definitely a line for the victory. Remember, Detroit won this game real world 7-3. Now they lead it 4-1. So, offense a little slow on both sides in this game. Here is Al Kaline. Wilhelm to Kaline, 6-1 strikeout 2. He's a 5 against righties, but the stadium -3 makes him a 2, but the 2 fits, and Kaline will strike out. A rarity there. With that -3, it still managed to do it. Here's Willie Horton. Wilhelm with the knuckler, 2-2. That's an automatic out on the star line, and it will be a ground ball to first. Pete Ward will take it to the bag himself. 2 up and 2 down for Bill Freehand. 1-4, strikeout 2 is going to get him. So Wilhelm, a 1-2-3 inning in the 9th. Took care of business. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the White Sox. It is a save situation. Fred Lasher did have 9 saves on the season, 2-1 with a 3.90 ERA and 9 saves. But with a 3-run lead, they feel pretty good about him being able to get the save. If it was a 1-run lead, they might have gone to Mike Marshall or Fred Gladding, but they'll go to Lasher since they've got the 3-run lead. All right, do it for the White Sox. Agee, Boyer, and Ward, heart of the order. And the bench is meh, to use a term that RJL uses. Just not much there on the bench. The best average hitter they have on the bench remaining is Wayne Causey, who is 220. I'm sorry, no, it's J.C. Martin, who is 234, and Wayne Causey is 226. All the other guys hit in the 100s. So if we're going to pinch it at all, it'll be these 2 guys, but most likely we will stick with what we have. So Agee will lead it off against Lasher. See if there's going to be a 9th inning magic for the White Sox. 3-1 strikeout chance, 12. Will not get him. He's a 14, but the -3 makes him an 11, so no strikeout for Agee. He fends it off and will swing 2-6, and he's going to end up instead grounding to second base for McAuliffe. 1 away. Brings up Ken Boyer. He's had a rough game, 0 for 3. He's committed 2 errors. 5-1 possible error. 5-4 is going to be a double to center field. That's a 17. There's no error there because Stanley's only a 3, but it will be a double for Boyer. So what does RJL say? Not going to be a 1-2-3 9th inning and inside pitch most of the times, and there you go. Ken Boyer with a 1-out double. And now the bullpen is stirring a little bit more. They've got Fred Gladding light tossing in case Lasher can't get the job done. They have Gladding loosening in the bullpen. They don't want to blow this lead. Strategy rolls are off, of course. Lasher to Ward. 3-4 strikeout chance 10. Will get him because he's a 13. -3 is a 10, so that fits. They strike out Pete Ward. We're out number 2, and all comes down to Rocky Colavito. But they might pinch hit for Colavito. In fact, I think they will. They want a left-hander in there. Colavito hits 231, but J.C. Martin hits 234. So they're going to pinch hit for Colavito with J.C. Martin. And they'll worry about the outfield situation if they get 2 extra innings. J.C. Martin, pinch hitter. Trying to play the percentages. Lasher. 5-3, range play at the park. We're going to Comiskey Park, but it is a range play. 4-6, that's a fly to left field, but it's going to be Willie Horton. His range is a 3. A 1, 2, or 3, the game is over. 4, 5, or 6, it's going to drop for a hit. It's a 3. Willie Horton puts it away on the run and ends the ball game. Willie Horton puts it away to finish off the White Sox as they go miserably in style again. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. Your final score, the Tigers win it by the score of 4-1. There were 3 White Sox errors in the game, 2 by Boyer and 1 by Agee. No errors for the Tigers, obviously. Check hits for the Tigers. 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. I've got them for 8 hits. 4 runs and 8 hits. Of course, they were aided by the 3 errors. White Sox, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 hits. 1 run, 7 hits, and 3 errors. Winning pitcher was John Hiller, and the loser was Gary Peters. Fred Lasher actually does get the save because he came in with a 3-run lead and held it. So your win now for the Tigers, and we'll look at the standings and see what that does for their standings. The White Sox miserably can't even gain a half a game on the Red Sox because they lose as well, drop to 75 and 67. They are now 7 games back of the Red Sox, which is where they started the day. But with the Boston losing, they couldn't gain any ground. Tigers, on the other hand, with their win now pulled to within 1/2 game of the Red Sox, and they are tied in the loss column. They just play 1 fewer games. They're 82 and 61. Red Sox are 83 and 61. Tigers are 8 and 1 since we started the replay. They are 8 and 1. The White Sox dropped to 2 and 7 in the replay. Boston 6 and 2. Minnesota 4 and 5. So current standings now: Boston. Well, I'll show them to you real quick. These are the most up-to-date standings we have. Boston, 83 and 61 lead. Oh, that should be a half. I didn't fix that. Hold on. I didn't fix that right. Let me fix this here. Okay, that's what we got now. Let's fix it here. Okay. Boston, 83 and 61, a half game lead on Detroit. They lead Minnesota by 3.5, 3 games in the loss column. And they lead Chicago by 7 games, 6 games in the loss column. So if Chicago starts to fall further and further behind, then I may end up pulling them from this replay and just playing the games of the 3 teams that are closest. We'll have to figure out what the best avenue to approach that is. But if the White Sox are that far out, I just don't see any reason to keep playing them over and over, and it's going to extend the replay and take me longer to get it done, and those games are going to be inconsequential. So we'll see how it goes. I'll give them a little bit longer because they still got, like I said, we're only on September 9th. So we got the whole month of September, and they could turn it around. Probably not, but they could. It's possible. Anything can happen. As we look ahead, I will show you the upcoming schedule that I have planned for the next few games in this replay. September 10th, we'll be back at Fenway for the Yankees and the Red Sox. September 11th, we'll get our first look at the Washington Senators as the Minnesota Twins will visit Washington. Then on the 12th, we've got Baltimore at Detroit. On the 13th, we got the Kansas City A's against the Red Sox. On the 14th, we got the Indians against the White Sox. On the 15th, we got the Senators against the Tigers. On the 16th, the Twins and the White Sox. And on the 17th, Baltimore at Boston. That's what I've got scheduled in the next block of upcoming games. So, hello, Canadian. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. So that's what we got, the next block of games. And so the next one's going to be from Fenway Park in Boston, the Yankees and the Red Sox. And then after that game, we'll move on to the September 11th games, and that means that teams will switch off and face new opponents. So we get a different mix of games to look at. So here, the Tigers defeat the White Sox pretty easily by a score of 4-1. Player of the game's got to be the pitcher. It's got to be John Hiller. He went 8 innings, giving up just the 1 run and 6 hits, and was never really threatened, except for the first inning when they had runners at second and third, or they had runner at first, the double by Agee, but they threw the runner out the plate trying to score, and that kind of killed the momentum of the White Sox and took it from there. Nobody on the Tigers really had anything big offensively, although Mickey Stanley was 3 for 5. They were all singles. And a triple by Eddie Matthews, but he didn't do anything else. And there's really not a whole lot for any of the Tigers to do much with, so I have to give it to the pitcher, John Hiller. So, player of the game is going to be this guy, John Hiller. He is the man. He gets the player of the game. And thank you all for spending part of your Wednesday evening with me. Like I said, I was going to record this, but I decided, what the hey, let's do a live one just in case. That saves time on uploading and all that good stuff as well. So, again, next game will be the Yankees and the Red Sox from Fenway. Might do that Friday. And of course, on Saturday, NBC Game of the Week on Stratomatic is the California Angels and the Minnesota Twins from Minnesota. And it'll be Bill Singer for the Angels and Jim Cott for the Twins. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Don't forget that the RJL 1969 season is getting closer and closer. So if you want to get your extra fill of Inside Pitch, that will be coming up before you know it. But until then, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.